Hey everybody, it's Salt from Pokemon Go Radio, and we're going to try out a YouTube video today to kind of add to the YouTube inventory. So if you guys could, check us out, subscribe, like, follow us on Twitter. I'll put it up somewhere. I'll put our email address up. I don't know. It's going to be, let's just point to it here, and I'll just make it appear here, even though it doesn't probably make any sense in the screen. But yeah, if you like what you see, definitely give us a like, give us some comments, and then you should check out our weekly show, Pokemon Go Radio. It's a podcast where we talk all things Pokemon Go. But the focus of this video is going to be, we have Community Day. Duskull Community Day is tomorrow. I'm sitting here on Friday night. It is just about 7 o'clock my local time, and I have signed myself up for quite a bit of work tomorrow. I've got football to watch, we've got a baby to watch, and I have 2 briskets to smoke. So that means we're going to have a community day from home. Now, I think that you can have a really successful and fun community day from home, depending on how you play and optimize your time, especially now that there are 6 hours of community day to enjoy. But I am going to have to put in the work to make sure I get the appropriate shinies. I'm not super hyped for Duskull, but I am excited about Duskull, and we'll cover Duskull here in a little bit. But I kind of want to walk you guys through a day in the life of playing Pokemon while also smoking briskets and having fun and just doing like a little fun video. So we'll go through all the different tasks I need to do, including getting ready and researching for Duskull, checking out PvP IVs and PvP relevance. We'll go through talking about a brisket. We'll clean out the Pokemon bag, and I'll kind of intersperse some fun things as we go. So hope you guys like the video and enjoy. Another thing you can do when you're really pressed for time is you can actually trim the brisket the night before, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So I've got 2 briskets in here, and I'm going to take them over here to my pan, and I'm going to trim them. A lot of people don't realize the amount of trimming that has to go into a brisket. So a lot of this is actually going to get cut off for the sake of the final product. And all you really need is a little bit of knowledge and a nice sharp knife. I'm not going to show you guys how to actually trim a brisket because it's kind of tedious. I know a lot of you aren't here for all that, but Mad Scientist Barbecue has a really great video that I will link in the description if you're curious on how exactly to trim a brisket. But I'm going to go ahead and get both of these trimmed. I am going to save the fat though for a little surprise that I'll show you guys tomorrow. Okay, so we have our 2 trimmed briskets here. These are pretty good briskets. You can see the marbling and stuff. So the trimming process takes a little bit. You can see you actually end up losing quite a bit taken off, but that's important because you want to have the right fat to meat ratio, and then also you want to cut off a little bit so they don't burn up in the cook, because this thing is going to be cooking for 12 to 15 hours. So I'm going to put these in the fridge, and the next time we see them, it's going to be very early in the morning. One of the big tasks to get ready for Community Day that I know a ton of people have to do is cleaning out their Pokemon bag. So I'm going to put mine up on the screen. There's 2 ways I like to go about cleaning out my Pokemon bag. First, there's the obvious. There's the recents. You're just going to scroll through. You're going to do your IV checks. You're going to slide. You're going to take pictures of anything that looks like it might be PvP relevant. And then you're going to put it in Pokegenie and go through all those things. And then if you don't, you just do a quick mass transfer like that. However, though, going back to the menu, I found that sometimes this can be a little difficult to efficiently clean out your bag because you're eventually going to get to Pokemon like these new Pokemon Furfrou, right? And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the screen and I'm like, okay, well, how many Furfrou do I have? How many do I need? This Venonat that I have right here, PvP 38, where does that stack up against my other Venonat? So for probably monthly, maybe every other month, I really like to go in and I like to just sort by number and look at the Pokemon in their Pokedex order, and then really start going through and looking at the Pokemon in context. So you can see here I'm going through and I'm like looking at this Caterpie right here. Bet that has nothing to do, and yep, that's an obvious transfer. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit that one. And then I go through and I'm able to really see, okay, these Pidgeys don't really mean anything, and I'm able to actually clean out my bag like that. I've found that I'm actually able to reduce my Pokemon inventory by a lot more when I go about it this way. So I'm not gonna bore you guys. I'm not gonna go through and transfer all mine, but I bet I can get that down by several hundred by the time my bag is cleaned out. So this is the last thing we had to do tonight. You can see my wood pile starting to look a little sad. So this morning went out, got a nice cord of pecan wood, really nice and seasoned. Chopped it down here, and then I am about to come over here and use my axe and my maul here to split that wood, and we'll show you what that looks like. I'm excited about this. This is something you have to do because this is not a quiet operation, and you do not want to do this at 3 a.m. Really aggravates people. Well, good morning. It is the wee hours, and yeah, you can see the coals have just been lit. I'm sitting here in my office waiting for the pit to come up to temperature so I can put the briskets on. I'm just kind of seeing what's going on around. So you can see in the screen here, I actually set at a nice little intersection where I live. So I'm hoping that the spawns are actually going to be pretty good today, especially if I'm running an incense. I might walk up and down. You can see I've got a little park there next door. Get out of the way, balloon, with a gym and a stop. So, I'm going to need to be local to watch the briskets and look after my daughter. But there is a fair amount that I can catch from home here. So let's pop into the shop. So we've got the Ultra Balls. That's a little nice little bonus, little bonus there. I don't expect the BCR, the base capture rate, to be particularly difficult on Duskull, but it's always nice to have some more. And then look, we've got a little event box here as well. Oh, I've got too many remote raid passes. I'll need to make sure that I do a remote raid. We're getting genocide ones like crazy. Let's see. I'm probably not going to buy the Community Day box. I do really like the 4-star pieces, but it's just too much. 1,280 coins. I feel like there should be some incubators thrown in here as well. So I'm probably going to miss the Community Day box, though that Elite Charge TM is also very enticing. So yeah. Looking forward to it here in a little bit after we put the brisket on. We're definitely going to go through Duskull's movesets, see how Shadow Ball affects Dusk Noir, and look at some key matchups on PvP Poke. So really looking forward to it. Should be a fun day. So the briskets are in fact cooking. Let's come in here and take a look. There they are on the pit, and there they will remain for the next 14 hours. Yeah. So they're going to stay like that until they get a nice color on them. We're going to come out about every 3 hours and start spraying them with pickle juice. So like with all community days, we do want to talk a little bit about the community day unique move and this Pokemon and see how things shape up. And the bottom line up front for Dusk Noir is not great, unfortunately. A little bit about Dusk Noir. It's got very good defense, but unfortunately it's coupled with some pretty lackluster stamina, which for all intents and purposes just means it's not a very tanky Pokemon. So it's not quite a glass cannon, but definitely not something like a Pokemon that's going to just be absolutely absorbing a lot of hits. It just doesn't have the stamina that it needs to compete. Shadow Ball is a great attack. There's lots of Pokemon out there that make phenomenal use of this move, especially when you're talking about neutral damage. This move can be an absolute house and just wreck teams as a very high damage output 2-bar charge move. The problem is it just doesn't help Dusk Noir enough to make it good. As far as the other attacks, you've got Hex and Astonish. You're going to want to go with Hex. It is strictly better. You need Hex there. And then for the charge moves, you are going to use Shadow Ball, but you're going to pair that with Dark Pulse. So a Ghost Dark typing there is a pretty desirable moveset, but as you'll see when we talk about the key matchups here, it's just there's other Pokemon you need to be using, either as a role filler or as a ghost attacker that are going to round out your teams to make you overall more successful in the leagues that are relevant. We'll start with the Great League. We'll start first with that. And then as far as the key matchups here, all of these come from analysis on PvP Poke. PV Poke. If you've never been to it, it's a really cool website where you can do all the most awesome battle simulations. I'll try to, if I remember, link it in the description, but it's just PV Poke, and you can do all of this data. So some key wins we'll start off first with. No surprises here. Medicham, it's going to be a win there for Dusk Noir. Swampert in the Great League is actually a win for Dusk Noir. And then you've got Hypno, Pelipper, and Shadow Nidoqueen are all going to be key wins there for Dusk Noir. So overall, some impressive wins and some pretty overall great league heavy hitters. But if you look at the flip side, there are some key losses here which kind of limit Dusk Noir's overall effectiveness in the Great League. You've got Azumarill, Skarmory, Altaria, Politoed, and Galarian Stunkfist are all going to be losers are all going to be losing matchups for Dusk Noir. So some of the most popular Pokemon in the Great League, bar none, are going to end up defeating Dusk Noir, which is really, really, really going to hamper Dusk Noir's effectiveness. As far as the Ultra League, we'll go to the Ultra League now. You've got some key wins here. Cresselia is going to be a win. Then you've also got Melmetal, Escavalier, Poliwrath, and Sizer are all going to be wins for Dusk Noir. But then, again, on the flip side, you've got a couple matchups that we need to talk about on the loss column. First, you have Swampert. Notice that's kind of weird, right? It flips from Great League to Ultra League. In the Great League, you've got a win, but in the Ultra League, it's actually going to be a loss for Dusk Noir. Togekiss, Charizard, and Venusaur. And then finally, rounding out some of those key losses that we want to talk about is Altered Form. That's Legs, Giratina. It's just a better option as far as a ghost attacker with Shadow Claw there. Altered Form Giratina is the ghost attacker you're going to want to use. It's much more spammy. It's much more tanky. It's going to be, it's where you want to be when you're talking about the Ultra League. It's just not useful. And then you look at the other Pokemon in the key loss-ups. I mean, just Ultra League staples are going to be taking down Dusk Noir. At the end of the day, for both leagues, you're just going to, there's better role fillers for each. Interestingly enough, though, as far as a PvP option, we do want to talk about Dusclops, because Dusclops is a good option for the Great League. It just doesn't have the CP for the Ultra League, but the Community Day candy is very useful that you might have picked up. You also hopefully can pick up a good smattering of IVs a little bit later on when you're out there scooping up. So make sure you're paying attention not just to Dusk Noir, but Dusclops. Obviously, you're not going to have access to Shadow Ball as the Community Day move, but Dusclops does have some cool moves. For fast, you're going to use Hex, and then for charge, there's a couple options. Fire Punch is really useful and very spammy, and then you can also use Return if you get a Shadow one. Now, obviously, you're not going to be grinding those out. You're not going to be purifying Community Day Pokemon, but Return is really cool. It's nice to have because it does strong neutral damage. But today, for the Duskull you're picking up, if you evolve them into Dusclops, you can look at the Shadow Punch, Fire Punch option. Extremely spammy. I have used this Pokemon as a safe switch option in some open metas, and it just absolutely spams punches at the opponent for Fire Punch and Shadow Punch with some really great coverage. So especially if you're in a grass-heavy meta, that Fire Punch can really put some shield pressure on leads if you do switch into it. It can be very, very useful. There's a lot of key wins and key losses across the board. Nothing that you probably don't expect. But in general, if I had to summarize the PvP relevance of Duskull Community Day, we're probably going to focus more on Dusclops. So hopefully we can get a good shiny out there, and we can make it into an awesome Great League spammy punching Pokemon at Dusclops, and just kind of set the Shadow Ball Dusk Noir stuff to the side. Okay, here we are live for Community Day. Getting ready to see the spawns switch over. I'll bring my screen up here. You can see it's just like the regular amount of spawns. Nothing really crazy happening here. It hasn't rolled over. We've just got a couple more seconds. Just gonna kind of look around. I love this. This is like my favorite part of Community Day, when you actually get to see everything pop up for the first time. I don't know. It just makes me be like, oh, hey, Community Day's here. It just makes me happy. Yep. Nothing crazy yet. Should be any second now. My clock hasn't quite rolled over to 11. Let that happen in just a second. But yeah. You spin me right round, baby, right round. Yep. You see, I'm trying to click on these, and nothing's happening. Ah! There they are! Duskull's here! Try and click on these. Nothing is popping up. Okay, I'm just going to restart the app real quick, and then I'll bring it back up. Give me 1 second. Okay, so we're back. Clicking on Duskull. Just going to go through these first couple real quick, try and do some shiny catches. Just going to do some quick capture, not really worried about it. Not really worried about any of these specifically. Just trying to get through this initial wave. I bet you we can get a shiny in this initial wave. Nope. I really hope that one of these is. So, not worried about my tasks. I do like the ones that tell you need to capture a certain amount of Pokemon, because you can always tell when you've actually caught it. But nope, still nothing in the quick capture met. So I'm just slinging that. And come on. Nope, that one's already gone. Hey, shiny! That's awesome. That's so awesome. Don't you dare. You stay in that ball. Yep, this is why I have trust issues. Okay, I am not going to mess around with this. Just going to give him the Golden Raz and the Ultra Ball. I'm so happy we got a shiny on our first one right there. That was really cool. I really like it when that lines up. So, and that's nice. We'll inspect it here in just a second. And then after this, I'm going to go check on the brisket and do some other tasks.
Nothing crazy, but it's nice to get a shiny out of the way already. I always worry about ending up dry. So, yeah, you can see we got quite a bit of Duskull spawns in that initial wave, and yeah, we'll go check the brisket and we'll check some more spawns. Get ready for that Alabama game here in a little bit. Good Lord, help me.
Okay, so we've got the Alabama game is getting ready to start. I just checked on the brisket. We've wrapped them. They're ready to go. So they're just finishing off the final couple degrees, and then we will have. I've also got some. I don't know which direction it's going to be. It's going to be in one of the directions. Got some community day footage. I shot this a little bit earlier. It's just about noon right now, so I took some of this earlier. So I'll have that up because I know everybody. There's going to be some cool catches there. Still doing the fast capture method just because I want to get through as many of these during my little breaks as possible. Hey, another shiny popped up. And yeah, it's been really useful. I've been doing this technique a little bit about every 30 minutes or so. I'll go check the temperature on the brisket, then I'll come in here and then I'll just round out and catch those like 10 or 15 Duskull. But we got about 5 hours to the Alabama game, and I'm a little worried. They're the #1 team in the country, and I'm pretty sure that the game is just going to get canceled, and we're not going to play it because it's going to be bad. I'm going to change it to my maroon shirt, and I'm going to hope for the best. But yeah, it's not looking great. Nick Saban has beat his assistants every single time he's played them. We have not beat Alabama since 2012. And yeah, really looking forward to it. Hope our freshman QB can do some good things. Oh, I'll show you our football setup, if you will. So check this out. So we've got the 2 TVs going. We've got the big TV, and then we've got the other TV on the floor. And because Pep and I both love college football, you see, one of us is going to have to watch the game on the floor, and the other one is going to have to watch the game up on the big screen there. So we'll see who wins that fight. But yeah, looking forward to watching these games. What?
Well, that was unexpected. Yeah, did not see that coming at all. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. That threw me for such a loop. It kind of messed up the plans that I had to shoot for that evening. I was gonna do the conclusion. It's Sunday, by the way. I absolutely did not do any more YouTube last night. Uh, yeah, I was gonna do the conclusion video, and then we started beating Alabama, and then we beat Alabama, and yeah, I just could not be bothered. So I'm gonna do the conclusion video today, Sunday morning, as we wrap up. And Evie's gonna help me finish real quick. Yeah, sorry, I also did not film me slicing the brisket because again I completely forgot. But I will show you after this a little video of just what part of it looked like and slicing some of my dinner. But in conclusion, I thought Duskull Community Day from at home was a success. I was able to get 5 shiny Duskull, which was pretty cool, huh? 5 shiny Duskull. That was pretty nice. And then, yeah, I was able to get the 10th best ranked Ultra League Dusk Noir with Shadow Ball. As we talked about in the PvP section, probably not going to be relevant, but it's always nice to have the 10th best of something. You know, if it ever comes up, I've got that. And then also, I was able to get the 42nd best Little Cup Duskull. That was really cool. So overall, I think Community Day from home was a bit of a success. Texas A&M won. I was able to make 2 briskets. I was able to look after Evie, and yeah, was able to get 5 shinies. So I'm gonna call that a win. So I hope you guys liked the video. Definitely like and subscribe. We would really appreciate that. And then enjoy this final silence of me slicing a brisket on my favorite cutting board. If you guys want to check us out, we have a weekly podcast at Pokemon Go Radio. Anywhere podcasts are found, you can find us. And then, yeah, I hope you consider joining us here on YouTube for more of this weekly content. Thank you very much. Well, guys, we've reached the end of our journey, and again, I'm really sorry that I didn't get to show you the briskets and some of the final steps, but I just got way too distracted by that football game. But I think Community Day at Home was a great success. I really liked it, but I did want to show you guys the brisket. These things used to be 2 15-pound briskets, and you can see between me and my friends, we absolutely demolished them. So these have been in the refrigerator overnight, so they don't look as good. The fat has re-solidified. This will all render out again when I heat them up, but I will slice one real quick. The bark really stayed nice and good, but let's just slice one real quick. So you can see it's got a lot of juice, a lot of fat, and just tender as can be. And honestly, it's still really good, but
thanks for playing with us today, guys, and I hope you like and subscribe, follow us, and yeah, go freaking catch them all.